Oops. Hi, everybody. I'm going to give it a second for everybody to join us. Hi, Dee. Oh. Turn that down. All right. Can you guys hear me okay? See me okay? All right. So I reached out to Pastels, which ironically is right down the like few towns for me. Like I would say half hour, 40-minute drive from me, which was really cool. What is that? Something's making noises. Hi, Charlotte from Tennessee. But anyway, yeah, they are by the company called Colorfin, and they are, like I said, not too far from me, which is kind of cool when you find a company that makes an international product, that it is, you know, really not too far. But why I got interested in Pastels is because Lynn from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps, the owner of Blue Knight Rubber Stamps, she has done a couple videos with them, and I had never tried them before. So I reached out to Pastels and said, hey, can I try out some of your products? They sent me 5 colors, which are these 5 over here on the tray. And then I was playing around with them and loved them so much that I ran down to my local Blick art store and I bought 7 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I thought I bought 7 for some reason. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, these 5, maybe I did only buy 6. But I was just like blown away. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I did buy 6. Sorry, looking at my receipt to make sure. I bought 6, and when you buy them one at a time at Blick Art Store, they are normally $7.25 each. The colorless blender is $8.25. However, when you buy 6 or more, you get a discount. And so the regular colors came down to $6.09, and the colorless blender came down to $6.99. And then I also got from them this starter Softee Kit, which came with one of these oval sponges. It came with this sponge, which is called a sponge bar. This is called an angle slice. And this is called a knife. And the knife comes with 5 covers. And all you do, it's like a makeup applicator. You slide that over the top. So I have one on here, which you can see I've been using. And then there's 4 little replaceable heads on there. So that's called the Softy Starter Set. And then I also picked up 2 more of the angle slicers, which you can see I have lovingly used already. So I'm going to put these over here. Now, when you purchase these, they come in these pans, and if you buy them individually, they each will have a lid. If you buy them in a package, like some of them come in color kits, then only the top one will have a lid, and they each screw into each other. So let me show you that. And you can also buy them in these trays, or you can buy these trays separately. And I believe they come in an organizer, this pallet of 10 or 20 a tray. So if you wanted to, you could stack these by screwing one into the other. And I believe they sell them in stacks that way, and also in trays. When they come individually, they are wrapped in plastic. What you want to do is from the bottom of the package, find the perforated edge, and from the bottom, pull upwards. It makes it so much easier to try to unwrap them than to try to open them from the top. So open from the bottom. And then if you want to put them in these trays, they simply snap into the tray, and the tray has a lid. And what they recommend is once you have them all snapped in, you only need to keep one lid. And the only reason you need to keep that one lid is if you ever want to remove or replace these, the lid becomes the key to pop them out. So you screw the lid back on, and then you can pull upwards from it being snapped in place. But once they're in, so you just snap it down. Once they're in, I can actually leave that lid on there. They're in. They're not falling out. And what's nice is this is a nice, thin, space-saving design. You can see the colors on the bottom, the names of the colors. And then it comes with a lid that, again, you just snap on, and you can stack these trays if you're going to buy multiple colors of them. So I have all of the colors that I own right now in here. And then I have the colorless blender, which I am going to leave out separately. And let's see how I'm reading your questions. So Dee, what they are is a traditional pastel, but they're made out of very super soft, extra soft pigment powders. And because they're in this cake format, or this pan format, they feel like super fine makeup. And they are so smooth and creamy. I mean, they're not creaming, they're just so smooth. I mean, you can see that it's straight pigment. Like, there isn't any filler in there. It's so nice. So when you're using a pastel stick, you know, we have these pastels. I have oil pastel somewhere. It's a tougher medium to get to blend. Now, the Faber-Castell gelatos, you can, you know, watercolor with and so on. These are a powder medium. So I'm going to show you some of the things that I made real quick, and then I think we'll make a card. So I just grabbed some basic colors. So I have red, yellow, turquoise blue, a magenta, a purple, a black, and then this one they sent me is a shimmering green. It's very, very pretty. And then I got the colorless blender. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to go back and get some more because I'm really having a good time with these. And these sponges, when you're using these sponges, when you have the sponge applicator on the knife, you just use a paper towel and you swipe sideways with it to clean it off. So you don't want to go up or down because that'll pull the sponge off the handle. And several of these I've used in different colors. I use the front and the back, and that's all you do to clean it is just rub it onto a paper towel to clean it. Now, I will tell you, yes, your hands are going to get a little bit stained with chalk. However, I found that it washes off a lot easier than it does with inks. So I've had a fun time making a mess today, and I just went up and washed my hands, and it came right off. Did not stain. And I don't really want to call it a chalk. I mean, it's a very soft, powdery substance, almost like a chalk, but it's so much better than chalk. It's way less dust than chalk. It blends easier, and I'll show you guys that in just a second. I mean, the possibilities of this are pretty cool. All right, so those are all cleaned up. Let me move these out of the way. So some of the pieces I made already. You guys will be familiar with some of these already. Okay, so I lost my first piece. Oh, it also came with this catalog, which I found is online if you wanted to look, but it tells you the history of the company, and it says the idea behind the development of pan pastel was to create a dry color medium that would work like a fluid paint, which it pretty much does without being a fluid paint. And it just goes on to say, you know, artists have been using a stick format for hundreds of years, and they thought about getting this into a pigment form. And you can see they have the regular color. They have a color that they mixed with black to make it a darker color, and a color they mixed with white to make it a lighter color. So you can get it all three ways or mix it yourself. These are professional artists. It comes in 92 shades, 20 pure colors, 20 tints, which are marked. Tints are the ones that are mixed with white, 20 shades, which are the ones that are mixed with black, and 20 extra darks, which are much darker. 6 metallics, 6 pearlescents, and 5 mediums, which is pretty cool. These are all their little Softy sponge applicators that they sell. And they have a wide variety of different applicators depending on what kind of look you're trying to get. And then again, it talks about how you can mix, how you can add, remove, and it works with all kinds of different mediums too. So if you wanted to, I'll show you, I stamped over them. If you wanted to color over them with marker, you could do that. There's a lot of professional artists that use pastels and have moved over to pan pastels because of how easy they are. And like I said, I saw them when Lynn was using them on one of her videos, and I thought, let me try that out and see how it works out. So I've only just dabbled in them today, but I'm very excited to try it out. And what's this little pamphlet have on it? Oh, just more ideas and web pages that you can go to. But if you search pan pastels on YouTube, there are quite a few videos, and I've been very impressed with everything so far. Okay, so this one I did was just my galaxy sky. So I just put down some of the yellow, which I think is called daylily, some magenta, and then I put some blue and black around it. And I just need to put my specks of white and silver in there, and I'll have my galaxy sky. To me, it was a little easier to blend than when I'm using my distress inks or my distress oxide. So I was really happy about that. And like I said, way less messier. So those of you that are having a problem with blending, might be something you want to check out. The next one I did was this. This is the new set from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps called Galloping Horses. So I laid my background down first. Now I don't have orange. So what I did was I put the yellow and then I put the red, and I just kept blending it, and you can see it blended up to the yellow here. And then I put some of that purple on there. And the cool technique I found is removing the color. So just took a regular eraser and removed the color and got this kind of cloud sky. And then I'll show you guys what I did to set these. And then I just stamped over it, and then I set the colors in place. So that one I thought came out really pretty. So then I got a little more daring, and I freehanded a little bit of this. So here I took the black and I kind of did a mountain, and I used this tool to sculpt the edges here and bring that color down. And then for the sky, I don't have any green, and I wanted this kind of Northern Lights green look. So I mixed some of the yellow and the blue, and I put a hint of purple in there, and again, went back in with the eraser and started lifting some of the color up. But again, I wanted a little bit more green. So I took the gelato in this bright green, put it on my Tim Holtz mat, sprayed it with a little bit of water, used this end of the tool and just gently ease that green in there. And you can see it just blends right in to try to give this Northern Lights kind of look to it. And then I took a stamp from Stampscapes, which has these pine trees. I'll show you that. So this is the stamp from Stampscapes, and I stamped the top of the trees at the bottom of my scene here. So it looks like you're like standing over a ridge and looking into this mountainous ridge with these Northern Lights coming over the top. By the way, the best paper I've found so far, I've used two. I used regular stamping paper, and I used watercolor paper. The watercolor paper on the smooth side seems to be the best because it's very toothy, and I just used the inexpensive Canson XL. I had the pack here. Here it is. So I used this watercolor Canson XL, and I used the smooth side. Okay, so I thought that one came out pretty cool. And then I did this one, and I did the dark blue on the bottom. This is another stamp from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. This is the Silhouette Sailboat is what it's called. And then I did the light blue in the sky. And again, to get that kind of cloud look, all I did was went back in with the eraser, lifted some of the color out, went back in with the little palette knife and just darkened in a couple of random spots with the darker blue. And it really looks like a cloudy sky. Because I don't have green, I went down here with the lighter yellow, then went in with the lighter blue, and just mixed them on top of each other until I had this green mountainside. Down here, I put a little bit of the darker blue underneath the drawn lines there, and then took an eraser and erase the top. Yeah, Carrie, I didn't film anything I was doing. I just was playing around with them, but I wanted to show you guys what I've done so far. Now, once these have been stamped, once I do the background, then I stamp over it. I was stamping over it using VersaFine Clear ink. You have to set your pastels because you don't want them to smudge. So I have my little, what I call spray box, which is just a little, you know, a box from your orders, your stamping orders, like My Favorite Things and stuff like that. And then I put my project inside the box, and I found this little can of Krylon Shortcuts Hobby Craft Paint. This one happens to be clear gloss. I'm going to have to go out and get some matte. And I just quickly do a couple shoots and spray that, and it's going to lock in your pan pastels, so you don't have to worry about them smudging. So these have already been sprayed, and you can see they have a little bit of a gloss to them. You want to do this in a well-ventilated area because you don't want that smell to affect you. This backside was done because I originally started to do the backside and realized I was on the textured side, and I knew I wanted to stamp on it, so I went back to stamping, did this side and stamping on the smooth side. So I wanted to do one more project here, and I thought I would do that one while you guys were here. And that one is going to be having it stick to Versamark ink. So I have a piece of yellow cardstock in my Tim Holtz stamping platform. It's just regular smooth Stampin' Up! Cardstock. And the stamp that I have inside is called this Van Gogh-esque stamp. It's supposed to be kind of a little bit of an imitation of Starry Night, right? So I figured the yellow would look good on there. So what I want to do is I'm just going to lightly dust off my area here. And I am going to stamp using Versamark ink. Oh, before I do that, I wanted to show you guys something else. I swatched some of the colors out on black paper, and you can see that the colors do show on black paper too. So very pretty there. So if you want to color in stamped images that you have on darker cardstock, you can see the difference in the colors. So that's light blue, dark blue, yellow, purple, magenta. This is the light pink, the light yellow, and then this is the shimmery pearlescent green. So the colors do show up, these stripes, on dark cardstock. I want to show you guys that. Okay, so I have the stamp mounted in my Tim Holtz stamping platform. I'm going to stamp it a couple of times real quick here with Versamark ink. Again, I'm not being endorsed by anybody to show you these. I thought I would try them out, and I'm just sharing my results with you. And so far, they have really been a lot of fun. And again, I think the part that I like the most is not only can you mix and blend them like you can with distressings, but they're so much easier to clean up. How's everybody's weekend going? I have had off for the last 2 days. I don't know what to do with myself. 3 days. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I've had off. So Leah and I have gone fishing. If you're not following me, my Instagram is Nancy Stamps 15. Did I even stamp anything? It's hard to see. Nancy Stamps 15 on Instagram. And you can see that we have not caught anything the last 3 days that we've gone fishing, but we've still had a good time. I didn't have a babysitter this weekend, so I took a little mini vacation and just hung out with the kids. I think we're going to go to the movies tonight. Okay, hopefully this is stamping out. I see it. It's starting to get darker. I think my magnets are actually in the way. Let's try that again. I see it along the edges, like center's not stamping. Might have to do some CPR stamping, ladies. It's been a beautiful weekend. I think we're gonna, Leah and I anyway, we'll try to go fishing again tomorrow. Xavier's at that teenager, don't want to do anything age. All right, getting a little better here. I know you guys can't see it, but I still would like it a little darker in the center. Okay. So you guys see that image stamped there with Versamark? Okay, all we're going to do now is color it in. So you always want to have a paper towel out with your pan pastel so you can clean everything up. I have not tried the colorless blender yet. And you just pull your lid off. I put mine under the tray. And I really just want to use the dark blue and maybe some of the black in here. So on the wider areas, you can use these wide wedges. And you basically have 4 surfaces or more. You can use this end, this end, this end, and this end, which is what I've been doing to kind of keep my colors separated. Although they really don't, once you clean off your sponge, they really don't blend into each other too badly. So this one, I seem to have blue and black on the same sponge. So I'll just use this one. And you just go into your pan. I'm trying to stay in frame so you guys can see everything here. Grab a little bit of that color. And then just start blending it in. And it will stick to the Versamark ink. I'm going to go into this dark blue. And I always go in with a light hand and then just layer my colors in. Yeah, I take my kids to the drive-in Charlotte because the little one will fall asleep. Xavier really wants to see the movie. It's that new Keanu Reeves movie, and who's going to say no to Keanu Reeves? Not me. And you'll notice I went from one pan to the other. It doesn't affect it. If you get one color into another color, all you do is just take your sponge and wipe right over that, and it'll pull that color right off the top. And you just take it and wipe it on your paper towel, and it's not going to affect it. So you don't have to worry about contaminating anything. There's no liquid, so you don't have to worry about it drying out. You don't have to worry about it getting moldy. I've used these sponges. I've used these color dusters, which have been just sitting in my drawer doing nothing. I find that these, they pick up the color fine, but they kind of push it around and make it real dusty. So I don't really like these so much. These work great. My little $5 jobbies from Five Below. The little $5 makeup brushes. they get into the color and swirl it around no problem. And there you can see I went in with the lighter yellow and it just layered right on top of that black. And if I don't like that, I can go back in with the black and put it back in there. And it just goes right on top of the yellow. So they do layer very nicely as well. And it's just like any medium. If you keep working with it, they blend until you get what you're looking for. And you just, that's it. You just go right over to the paper towel and wipe it off when you're done. You can take these up to the sink and wash them off with a little bit of soap and water. But they will stain, but it doesn't affect how they work. And this is a very simple stamp, but by putting these couple of colors on here, it really makes it look like you took the time to kind of color it in. It's very easy to do with the pan pastels. And if there's any areas where you don't want all the color, you just go in with a regular eraser. And you just erase where you don't want any of that color. There we go. So now I can just cut this down, put it on a card front. And if I wanted to stamp over it, I could stamp over it. In fact, let's do that. This has been my go-to phrase lately. Us friends always. It's by Impression Obsession. You stamp right over it. Doesn't affect the stamp at all. If you wanted to color over it, that was one of the things they were pointing out in the videos. So let's say I want to go in with this lighter yellow. Oh, that's not going to work because of the Versamark. I didn't think about that. Not a good idea over Versamark ink. Scratch that. Go with a darker color. I just smudged my ink. That was like a turquoisey blue. We're going with a little darker blue. I'm sorry, Anne. It was not my intention. I just figured if you guys saw these around or you had some and you were like, what am I supposed to do with these things? You know, sometimes we buy things on a whim, we put it away, and then we forget what we're supposed to do with it. And, you know, this is my first time trying them out. So I thought, why not? Let's see what I can do with them. And I've been very pleased. You can see you can color right over with marker. It accepts the marker, no problem. Doesn't affect the marker. And so at this point, if I would say I'm done, then I would go and spray it and be done with it and set it in. I'm going to go in with this clear jelly roll and add some more shimmer and sparkles to this because why not? I'll do it in these little star bubbles. Don't forget, today is your last day, I think, to go over and enter the Blue Knight Rubber Stamps blog hop giveaway. You got to go over to Blue Knight Rubber Stamps blog, and they are giving away some stamp sets to match the release that just came out this week, and the cloud stencil. All right. So now I add a little bit of shimmer to those little bubbles. I don't know if it'll show up on camera. And then, like I said, I would then put this in my little spray box. And this is a My Favorite Things box, by the way. And just going to give it a couple of squirts. And not only does it lock everything in it, but it really makes those colors pop out. And then I would set this aside to dry. So yeah, lots of ideas been running through my head with them. I'm also going to try mixing them with like mixed media, like, what do you call that? Gel medium, and see if I can get it to work that way. But once this dries and it's not wet anymore, it'll have that sheen to it, and then you'll be able to see all those colors pop, and I'll cut that down and make that card front size. And then we have the Galloping Horses from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. And again, the thing that's cool is the ability to remove the ink. Yes, I know you can do that with distress inks using water, but it's less control. This gives you more control because you're using an eraser. So your eraser becomes your tool to take that color away, which is pretty cool. So I did this one, which is my take on Mountains and Northern Lights. And that one I just did freehand and just stamped some trees at the bottom. And then this one was the sailboat silhouette. I can't speak. Silhouette sailboat from Blue Knight Rubber Stamps. So that's that stamp set. Here's the Galloping Horses one. So I just love the Blue Knight Rubber Stamps because they make some really cool scenes that all you need to do is just lay down some background colors. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. Again, you can search YouTube or Google for pan pastels, and you can buy them individually. Like I said, they seem to be around $6, $7, depending on how many you buy. They have 92 colors. They have pearlescent colors. They have metallic colors, which are like glittery colors. They have metallic. I've seen like bronze, gold, silver. So metallics come in gold, silver, rich gold, light gold, pewter, copper, bronze. Pearlescents come in pearlescent yellow, violet, orange, blue, red, and I have the pearlescent green, which is very pretty, almost like an Eastery green. And then 92 colors, so pretty much any color. And I didn't get every color. I just got some basics because I knew I could mix them. So by having the red and the yellows, I'm able to mix and make my own orange. By having the green and the yellows and the blue, I'm able to mix some green. So here you can see the orange I mixed, and here you can see the green I mixed. So you just maybe start out with a couple of colors and see how you like them. Think about the things that you're normally coloring and stamping the most. Look at your distress ink pile and see what inks you're using the most and go from there. I'll probably add some more to my collection. And then these little Softy Packs are pretty cool. Again, this is the Softy Starter Set. Comes with the 4 little blending knife heads, and this blend, it's just, I believe the shape is the oval shape. Yes, knife number 3 oval shape. This is called the round angle slice. I know they sell a square one, and this is a nice size. It fits in your hand. It's not too small. It almost does feel like a good quality makeup sponge. It's a little heavier dutier than that. And then this one is called the Sponge Bar. So a nice little variety of sponges to try them out, and you can add to that if you wanted to as well. Very easy to clean up. You just put your lid on your pastels. You don't have to wipe them off again or worry about them drying out or being contaminated. And you don't have to get the tray. The tray is just nice to keep them organized. They sell the trays in 10 and 20 pack. And then all I do is just put everything away and go wash my hands. And if there is any dust, it's very low dust. But if there is any dust, you just wipe it down with a wet cloth and you're ready to go. Go up and wash your hands and it comes right off the hands, which is what I like. Okay, guys. Any other questions for me today? Well, I appreciate all of you guys being here. If you think of any questions or you didn't catch us live, you can post them down below in the comments. If you like this video, I appreciate your thumbs up. And as always, thanks for watching, guys. And keep on stamping. Bye-bye.